So our next topic is the fight of the night: Brandon Moreno versus Alexandre Pantoja.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about what we thought about it. So I want to toss it first to you, Isaiah. What did you think about this fight?
Okay. Yeah. I just have to reiterate. We were just talking about Alexander Volkanovski versus Yair, and this whole card UFC 290 was amazing. Uh this fight right here. I can't remember if it got performance of the night or fight of the night. There are different ones that Dana gives out money for, but I just don't remember the name for it. But this was my favorite fight of the entire card. Um, I was rooting for Brandon Moreno. I just liked his fighting style, his demeanor, the way that he is as a fighter. Um, and but the story behind Pantoja and how he got there, and just the way that it played out and it ended, it's just something out of fairy tale. Um, so for those of you who don't know, Moreno and Pantoja have fought uh, two times before this. So this is the first time, the third time that they fought. And the ones in which they fought before, I believe it was on another UFC TV series, and in which Brandon Moreno actually lost twice, and this is actually the third time that he lost against Pantoja. So these people are not they are not new to each other. Uh, maybe they've grown a bit. Oh, you can definitely tell that Brandon Moreno grew a lot from that. He did not get knocked out. He did not get choked out. Because Pantoja has a really good ground game, a really aggressive, throw the sink at you, everything kind of striking. Like elbows, kicks, knees, just a good, well-rounded fighter. Um, and From Brazil, and of course Moreno being have like having that amazing gas tank. And just this fight was as close as you can get it, but you could still have a clear victor. That's the type of fight that should be like a championship fight. A really, really good challenge, and Pantoja just pulled it off. Um, I was kind of worried that Pantoja was just throwing the whole sink, kitchen, tool, everything just in the first and second round. He was just throwing everything. He was so aggressive. He came out like a bat out of hell against Moreno. And he was kind of gassed a little bit. You could definitely tell, especially from the later rounds. But the way that he handled those rounds, I it was just it was just amazing. He even knocked down Moreno in the first round, and just like he had an amazing ground game. He made Brandon Moreno have to go to the ground a lot, even though you could consider it like not a lot of action was happening there because of the just the position that they were in and the defense of Brandon Moreno with his ground game. Um, but it went through all 5 rounds, and then at the very end you hear the name Pantoja, and then we expected it. We thought that he had more control. We thought that he had more activity on the ground, more time on the ground, and in an offensive advantageous position, being it on the back, being it on in a half guard position, just in a better position than full guard. um and you saw him drop towards the end on the ground, and he said like he loves his family. He sacrificed so much for this opportunity. Like he just started crying, and just to see something like that, that is so rare to see. In which like you work so hard for something, and it finally pays off. It's a lot of times in life it doesn't work out that way. You see something that happens, and it doesn't happen the way that you'd like it to, or the way that you expected. But this one was just straight. He worked his ass off to get here. He spent a lot of time training, like a year and a half just training for this moment, for it to all pay off. That is something that someone can only experience if they were in that position, and he was the top of the world for this fight. Um, it was just amazing to watch, and I really hope that they run it back. Um, but I will say that Pantoja is 33, so he still has a little bit of time to maintain his champion. But just the fact that he got there, I think, was enough satisfaction. The fact that he's on top of the world right now. Um, so all good. It was a good attempt by Moreno. I know that he broke his hand in the first round, and he just went through it anyways. He just like blasted through it, which was, that's just a monster in his own regard. But Pantoja just he earned that name, the cannibal from Brazil. So good fight. What did you think, Mark? What did you think about this amazing fight?
It was solid, man. It deserved the fight of the night. I think they got a $50,000 bonus.
Yes.
So yeah, again, Pantosha. I was worried a bit after the first round. I mean,
Yeah.
he scored the knockdown, and Brendan Moreno's corner was saying he's gassed, in which second round you definitely could see it because Pantoja was just doing everything to just throw the kitchen sink at him, trying to knock him out, and then Brendan Moreno absorbed that pressure and then dished it right back. So it was a very good action-packed fight. Uh, both guys high technically in terms of their skill set, but what edged it for Pantoja, in my opinion, was his ground game. He was able to take Brendan Moreno down multiple times, especially I believe it was in the third and fourth round of the fight, as well as the fifth round. I remember the commentary team were, saying it was even in terms of striking in the fifth round. It was 18-18 until Pantoja shot for takedown, got the takedown, and then for the last minute or so of the fight, he just got Brendan Moreno's back, but didn't do much behind it.
Yeah.
But in terms of some positives in Brendan Moreno is his submission defense, spectacular. It got way better. He was able to battle Pantoja's hands. The trying to negate Pantoja from grabbing his wrist, and his hand manipulations there were really good. But there are still some deficiencies in Moreno's game in terms of his takedown defenses. Because again, if this was still on the stand up and Brendan Moreno was able to keep it on the stand up, again, this is a what if, but Pantoja wouldn't be as lucky because during that second and third rounds, he looked gas.
Yeah.
But Brandon Moreno still looked fresh even up into the fifth round. But to me, it was a well-deserved victory for Alexandre Pantoja. But they should definitely run it back, which I believe Dana White has announced that he is not opposed to this being a rematch for Brendan Moreno. Because, again, this is very new for Alexandre Pantoja because Brendan Moreno has been in multiple title fights already. Multiple 5-round fights. I believe this was Pantoja's second or first 5-round fight. He did not. His fights never go past the second, third, or fourth round, according from the commentary team I was listening into. So, shout outs to Alexandre Pantoja for showing that dog to keep going. Again, it was a very close fight. But one of the judges had in almost the entire fight going to Brandon Moreno. He had it 4-1 to Moreno, which that's why it was a split decision. As wonky as that scorecard was, the right man still won the fight. So I'm glad that Pantoja won. So again, take some time. If if you are gonna face Brendan Moreno, really amp up your stamina, your gas tank, and try to mix it up on the ground.
Yeah, I would say just don't throw the kitchen sink next time. That was
Yeah, don't blast it in the first round. Yeah, it
oh.
was great. It was great, but don't do that. But let us know what you guys think about this. Was this the fight of the night in your opinion? Let us know what you thought about Alexandre Pantoja's dog, Brendan Moreno's improvements on the ground. Let us know all of that in the comment section below.